What if you could play expressive piano phrases and beautiful arpeggios even if all you know are basic chords? I really suck at playing the piano, so I built a tool that transforms any chord into new arpeggios, expressive phrases and much more. And the best part, it's completely free. SongEngine is a VST plugin that contains many songwriting tools. For example, there's a chord progression builder that you can use to create your own chord progressions by ear. But in this video, we will focus on the new live playing mode, which is available in version 1.5. It's pretty easy to use. Simply do this. Open the packages page, then click on Live Mode. When you play chords on your keyboard now, SongEngine will transform your chords into new arps and piano phrases automatically. You can switch between different playing styles over here. As you can see, there are many presets included for free. You can also put some chords on the timeline of your DAW and then send them through SongEngine. This way you can quickly try out new playing styles when you compose your songs. And if you want, you can always add hundreds of additional styles on the Add More page. For example, you can add expressive house rhythms, hip-hop grooves or pop piano phrases. SongEngine also contains a built-in MIDI recorder. It records all the generated output notes for you. When you stop your DAW, the recorder will stop as well. You can then drag and drop the result to your DAW as a MIDI file. If you use the VST version of SongEngine, you can also send the generated notes to another synth. For example, I can connect SongEngine to Serum over here. So far, we only covered the default live mode, but there are other modes included as well. You can find them when you click on the settings icon. The other modes are easy to use as well, but they need a bit more explanation. Let's start with the one-finger chord modes. When you pick one of these modes, you can use one finger to send chords through SongEngine. But how does SongEngine decide which notes it will use? Let's open the chords page now. I made some other videos about this page before, but for now you only need to understand this. We have a chords timeline over here and a chord pad section below. When you pick the mode one finger chords timeline, SongEngine will use the chords on the timeline when you hold down a note on your MIDI keyboard. You can build your own chord progressions quite easily. Now back on the packages page, you can simply trigger the first chord with a C, the second chord with a D, the third chord with an E, and so on. The other one-finger mode is one-finger chords, chord pads. Let's go back to the chords page. The chord pad section is a very flexible multi-tool. You can fill the pads with your own chords, or you can pick one of the pre-made collections, or you can use a so-called generator. For example, this generator will calculate the most important chords for the current scale for you. At the moment, the scale is set to A minor. But when we change it to C major, the chord pads will automatically recalculate the chords. And the cool thing is, we can now go back to the packages page and use the pads as our input source. Again, the C is connected to the first pad, the D is connected to the second pad, and so on. So when we use the main scale chords generator, the C will always play the root chord of the scale, the G will play the 5, etc. That's a pretty easy way to trigger all the main chords of any Western scale. The last mode that I want to show you is chords with bass. It's very similar to the standard chords mode. The only difference is that you now have to specify a bass note for each chord. This is especially useful if you work with a lot of inversions and want to tell SongEngine which note is the bass. So these were the main live modes that you can use. But here are some extra tips and tricks. If you want to work with a fixed input velocity, you can open the settings bar and then change the number. This is a good way to keep the input velocity always on the same level, even if your MIDI keyboard is very sensitive. You can also transpose the output note some octave up or down over here. And finally, let's talk about the two Quantize modes that you can use. Eighth note's Quantize is the default. It will help you play in sync most of the time. But sometimes you don't want to quantize your input. For example, let's say you want to play simple one-finger chords. You pick the full chords preset and now want to trigger your chords rhythmically. As you can hear, this doesn't work well when 8th note's Quantize is active. But when you set Quantize to off, everything is alright. Just a few final tips. In the standard mode, you can drag the generate MIDI directly into your DAW. In live mode, however, drag and drop is disabled. The thumbnails show a small preview image instead. Also, if you scroll through the preset list while you're playing, playback will pause until you play the next notes. That's because SongEngine has to generate preview images for newly visible presets. And that's it. I hope you enjoy the new live mode. Thanks for watching and see you soon.